Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to game number 2 of tonight's PUBG EU Pro Scrims. I'm Jorisar, and I'm eating bloody Tim Tams because Australia are through to the round of 16 in the World Cup, and it's coming home. God, I wonder what a good bet on that would be. We must still be something like 500 to 1, right? I'm taking every day as I can get it from a glory point of view. Absolutely no shame whatsoever. Let's get back now to the game. This is game number 2 of 6, our second one on Miramar. 17 teams alive as we have a 3 to 9 o'clock plane path here in game number 2. Quite a fun finish, I have to say. Game number 1 around the sort of southeastern hills of Miramar, after threatening to give us the island finish that we were all looking out for. I'm refreshed. I've got a cup of tea. I'm ready to go. How are you guys doing? You all right? Where are you all watching from tonight? Who are you cheering for? That's what I want to... What on earth is going on here? Where's question mark? What? Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. What is happening here? No. There's question mark. It was right here. Okay, so they eliminated half the team. Oh dear, oh dear. I think it was unintentional. Not something that typically happens in scrims. Like, the teams tend to be quite specific with where they're dropping and stuff. But I feel like question mark and what I guess is half of MTB, it is indeed. CTR and Esqui out of the game. There's going to be some conversations in chat because obviously you don't want that happening every game. But I think that was an honest mistake. I don't think anyone's pretending that there was anything malicious to do with that. So first 2 kills in the game already happening. MTB down to a duo. That's brutal. Circle is moved just north of Chumacera for phase 1. So none of these dolphin-esque island finishes or anything like that. We're all good. Elsewhere, we've got Marbo rejoining the rest of the team. Completely and utterly acceptable, of course, except Feinotto is surprisingly close by. I think, okay, so he's heard the vehicle. He wants to make sure that whoever's in that vehicle knows that someone is there. And of course they do. Well played. Just keeping things nice and calm. Anyone else running into each other early game? Having a peek. Jam and Nedex look to be fine on the southern side of Los Leones. The Woo are going to comfortably allow them to get on with their looting. I don't see any problems whatsoever there. Heroic have got Chumacera and need to decide how compact they want to be. Oh no. Corexi is currently disconnected, but hopefully will make his way back into the game. I did notice there were only 3 dots there. Fingers crossed they arrive soon. We're now at about the 4-minute mark, so we should now be expecting teams to think about moving in. Win or Die are one of the first to do that from just outside edge. There's no one directly in front of them. Let's see how much space they are willing to take here in phase number 1. No one in front of them. Wok says might be an issue if they go towards power grid, but they're looking okay so far. Ah, the delicious taste of tea after a Tim Tam. Gotta love it. Panathinaikos should be leaving. I don't think anyone's gatekeeping here in phase 1. Just get on with it, really. Win or Die now getting snipingly close, shall we say, to Wok says. There is a possibility of them having a couple of shots back. I think they're more likely, though, just to get in vehicles and head off. Yes, they are. No engagement here just yet. Oh. Oh, my. We need to have a conversation about this. Onur gets Kurexi. Looking for the trade. Here comes James. Great underarm nade. ABC having to take evasive action. Second nade as well. Properly forcing them in. Actually, ABC gets knocked from that. BBL being a little bit too quick to move in. Is he going to be able to get Kurexi? I feel like now if he's going to rush down, now's the time, right? You've got a molly, you've got a smoke down. I think Kurexi's probably also saying, if you're going to do it, maybe make it now. ABC is dead, and Onur is knocked. They're trying to work out how many more people are here. Fenderloss is coming in. I feel like that should be the key to go, oh, we're actually doing all right here. We're going to win the fight. Cool. Well held there by Heroic. It's not over yet, though. Mur coming in and hopefully, for his team, doing something spectacular. Sadly, the third party from Nedex puts that to bed. Where are we? Where are we? Can't even see him. There we are. And double will end BBL. So Heroic, they've got 3 kills as opposed to 4, but crucially, all 4 members of their team are alive. Where else are we looking? Mercurial, would this be considered within threatening distance of win or die? Not really. I feel like they can comfortably go their separate ways from here. That seems reasonable. Unless they push in, to be fair. I confess I am not expecting this. Having a peek over the ridge. Maybe thinking better of it. So 6ix9ine not going in all the way. I wonder if they think this half of Mercurial are Wox's team. I wonder if they've gone, oh, these guys in the car must be here. Therefore, it's worth looking for both of them. I don't know. Ooh, a little bit of a whiff there by 6ix9ine. Noik now, of course, knows exactly where he is. And that's the element of surprise gone for win or die. Does he realize these aren't the same team? That's going to be fairly critical. I think they're getting into a tricky situation now. I'm not sure they want to be hanging out here much longer, especially with the team split like that. Big fight between the Wu and Marcy. Fuzzface gets taken out inside this compound. I think the Wu were the ones trying to push in. And they might be reevaluating. They are, look at this, all 3 getting into Murado and moving out. Nedex still just shooting absolutely anything that moves and hitting these shots from distance as well. They will be able to disengage. But that was a little bit of a costly engagement with the Wu losing a member very, very early on. Still a little bit of time away from phase 1 closing. Fade Notto holding this compound. Very nice high ground compound here. Just holding it from TOA. Not allowing them to get any sort of foot in. Xiong's going to come and join him, I suspect, and make this a 2-2 split proper so that he's not on his own. And a question mark quite late in from the east side. They've wrapped all the way around Los Leones, and they're now coming in via the north side of that city. Afterall, who were active in the latter stages of that first game, have got high ground towards the south of the circle. So really a lot is just wait and see from a phase 2 point of view right now. I think we've covered all the fights where people are effectively on top of each other. What have Sarvem got on Mercury? Not a lot. I mean, you might be able to get a knock from here, but running across this open ground is basically a no-no. So I think we're doing all right. 13 seconds left to go before we see where phase 2 goes. RFI. Daz is out in the middle of nowhere. Phase 2 has popped. Okay. And after all, they're going to be very pleased that they stayed on the Southern Hills here because it is an 8 o'clock hard shift. Phase 2 in between Valle del Mar and Chumacera. One of the first teams to all get into vehicles was Marcy's Mix. And they'll be rotating via the south side. I think they'll basically have after all to potentially contend with and nobody else. They've done quite a good job there. Don't foresee that being an issue at all. Marbo! In between Heroic and the Woo. The high ground of Chumacera, almost always someone looking out there. That's a little bit dicey. Win or Die coming in via TOA, trying to evade them. Hopefully this doesn't become a full-on firefight. Really, those are just warning shots, if I'm honest. Good to see some Stryer action in the chat as well. It's interesting o'clock right now in Australia, but appreciate the support. Welcome. You join me as we celebrate being in the round of 16. Circle has now started to close. Win or Die look like they're actually going to stay in this position and try and attack TOA. TOA, on the other hand, are being a little sneaky, and they're saying maybe we can get one up on these guys by surprising them and coming out of the compound and drawing first blood. Yep. Waves goes down. Gusiara in trouble. Heroic coming in with the third party. If they just keep pushing now, they can get out of range of Heroic. Going prone isn't the way to do that, though. Apocalypse down, nearly out. A Nail Cop getting third partied as well, so that's T-Bone taking that. So, unfortunately, not working out in TOA's favor. And you know what's happening through all of this? Mercurial are seeing this in the kill feed, and they're going, I think we can get a bit of a piece of this, don't you? Wade's out, 6-9 down. Got people from North America in the chat and Asia as well. Malaysia. Welcome, everyone. That's awesome. Nades going out. Trying to get the finish onto Kusiar. That's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Molotov. And Noik will be able to get that page. Following up with Leosh as well, leaving 6-9 as the sole player inside this shed. Mercurial have handled this absolutely beautifully. And that's Page eliminating Win or Die. They're up to 3 kills. All 4 of them are alive. Final member of TOA trying to steal a buggy to get out of dodge. Celtic here being very, very adventurous indeed. Lots of people behind him. One hit, and that's Curexi with the barrel spray. Team of Anatolia are down. Heroic also with all 4 alive and 6 kills to their name. Thank you very much, Jasku, for the prime sub there. Welcome to the pack. Glad you're enjoying the show. So, a little bit of action towards the edge. And that's phase 1. Let's go ahead and see what happens there. Okay. Complete donut. Phase 2, pardon me. Complete donut here for phase 3. Relatively straightforward. MTB, remember, who started on the northeastern side of the map and lost CTR and Esqui basically at the 0-minute mark. They've played as a duo the entire game. They've now entered the zone from the 8 o'clock position near Valle del Mar. Pro Rix from Marcy is, oh my goodness, quite far away from the rest of his team. He's actually got 2 members of He-Man's mix to deal with. That's going to be interesting. Looks like the rest of Marcy are going to come and join him as well. In my opinion, that's very, very interesting. Mercurial all on the move. Let's see where they go. Essentially threading a needle here between about 5 different teams. But if they pull off this move, it could be pretty big. Through RFI. Not around, but through. Ouch. That's going to hurt in the morning. And they've taken the bottom of the cliffs. Which is very interesting indeed, because they are permanently susceptible to long-range shots from Ghetto Gang here. Not 100% sure how much I like this. good news is it's extremely long range. The bad news is they can basically do nothing about it. Yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe if Mercurial can hold on for the next couple of minutes, later in the game, this position will pay dividends. We'll wait and see. And Commandy in the chat saying Tim Tams are a godlike food. Yes, they are. And I'm currently eating the limited edition Murray River salted caramel Tim Tams as well. That is like the most godlike of Tim Tams. I've got some double coats in the... So I just came back from Melbourne and Cairns. I've got some double coat Tim Tams in the cupboard. I am ready. You know who else is ready though? Ibby. Takes out Jimbo. That is it. Little bit of a sneaky one because Heroic knew that someone was here and they wanted to see if anyone was beyond the ridge. But Ibby actually positioned himself so that it wasn't even on the ridge. He got there before and was able to get the drop onto James. Beamy, though, able to complete the trade. And I think that's a fair result, you know? Like, these guys sort of hanging around on the edge, waiting to see what's going on. Spotting a couple of players. They're going to fight to the death at that point, right? There's no big rotation, no 200 IQ big rotation they can make while running away from the fight and improving their position. Gets harder and harder to do, especially with hard shifts like this. Jesus. Okay. Were you in Valle del Mar? Right, that's completely irrelevant now. 2 o'clock hard shift. Have we got a full team here? We do not need X's mix are down to double and Silas, and they've got a really excellent compound. Arguably the most central one here. Not the highest of ground, but pretty decent. And up here on the high ground, there's no one there at the moment. But slightly further down is Mercurial. So they're holding out still in that position. Ghetto Gang aren't causing them too many problems by the looks of things. Sarvam Esports could actually end up being the ones taking this position. We'll wait and see. They're in at the moment, though, inside Chumacera. So they might choose not to come out. Well, you might want to grab the high ground and hold it. Depends on style of play and what they prefer, I guess. I would personally want to go for the high ground. Fraga still stuck in Valadama. He has to think of an exit strategy. You can't be thinking about shooting at this point. It's phase 4. This is going to start hurting. I'm worried that shooting becomes a little bit of a death sentence, and that's why he's taking the UAZ and moving out. I think this is the sensible move. Not too much else you can do in that situation. Should be able to make it in on edge. ProRix here as well. They're effectively having to sneak in behind after all. Don't know how they feel about that. Has we heard them? Maybe not, or at least not yet. This is going to be very interesting indeed. He needs this snot, and he needs it promptly. Gets it. Good execution from ProRix. Good follow-up nade towards we. Very good follow-up nade. And ProRix here. One-man armying it a little bit. Progressing up the hill towards after all. Fragger's now also come up to help as well. I think he thinks someone is going to be reviving Hibako, but there's actually no one else there. Room for improvement eliminated by a combination of Heroic and Mercurial by the looks of things in the meantime. Fantastic Molotov. Phil first will actually get the finish onto Hibako, and now they know there's a third party here. So because the third party exists, they might be thinking, let's make sure we minimize our angles as much as we can. Is Matt going to push out on that? He knows that he hit him twice. Great nade. Very, very good nade. Did exactly what he had to do. Fragger pinned in by the fence. We gets taken down though. ProX again. Absolute sharpshooter this game. It's a 1v2 now. Tried to flick. Wasn't quite enough. And Marcy Mix eliminated from the game at the same time as Ghetto Gang, actually. Ghetto Gang, the team I was worried about putting a little bit of pressure earlier on, if you remember, onto Mercurial. That's obviously not going to happen now. Question mark have come in though. to play follow-up. And Aina needs to get we up ASAP. Phase 5 starting to close in. A doozy. A little bit cornered here. Wonder if they realize it's a single player up here. He has swapped his long-range weapon for a shotgun. Is this grenade going to be it? It is! That is a beautiful grenade, bouncing it off the roof to slow its trajectory. That was excellent stuff indeed. A doozy does get traded out by Mad, but that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Phil first also down, which means Faultlessly is going to have to take a lot of time out of his game to first revive and then heal. Hello, Sanpai falls as well. Question mark down to a duo. This aggression onto After All, not quite what they were hoping for it to be. He's spotted in the window. They're ping-ponging shots around. You might call it Wii tennis. Okay, I've had better jokes in my time. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Guys gotta have fun, right? I'm surprised Aiden has been given so much freedom on the roof, and I think that's actually now paying off in spades. He went straight back up onto the roof. Knows exactly where Phil first is, and therefore also knows that there's little risk the other down teammate isn't being revived, at least not yet. So much cat and mouse play here. He's jumped out the back. Faultlessly's also feeding that information to his teammate. But does run into Mad eventually. That's question mark eliminated. And after all, can they get Ainen in time? They can. They've still got 3 alive. Well played by After All. They had to deal with 2 different teams, and they're out of there with 3 alive. I think most teams would very, very happily take that. After All have played that very well indeed. Three teams now on the eastern edge of circle. We're into the placement points already. This is the top 7. Poor Panathinaikos. All they wanted was a crate weapon. And even with an AWM, Aimfrost is being hunted down by Beamy. Should be able to run just about to the rocks. It's not Heroic he has to worry about anymore. That's the problem. Can he be seen from here still? Oh, you know what? He kind of can, but After All, they've got other things to worry about. They're so far out of circle, they have to start rotating. Savem going for it. Is he going for it? There's only 1 player left. Oh, no! Check the number of bullets in your magazine. Unfortunately, that's it for Savem. Jempty does get sacrificed in the process, but Pixelic will be able to get revived unless Silas stops these guys from doing everything they need to do. Down to 33 hit points as well, with Heroic on top of them. The third party here might actually be a bit too much for Mercurial. I thought they were going to be all right here, but I stand corrected. Double now looking to eliminate the threat for good from this game. Defensive flashbangs coming out. But the offensive nades trump the defensive flashbangs, and that's Mercurial out of the game. We're now into the top 5. And Heroic have high ground advantage on everyone here, including in phase 6. Ainen, that is an absolute laser of a spray. Taking down Beamy. Oh no. Down but not out there, unfortunately. Panathinaikos eliminated as T-Bone now has to deal with this 1v3. 11 kills so far for Hero. What a beautiful flashbang. There is no way T-Bone saw anything when he got eliminated from that game. After all, Tierra on a tear. They're up to 10 kills. And it's 3 of them versus 2 from He-Man versus 2 from Nedex. I have to say, the mixed teams are doing quite well today, guys. They are not doing bad at all. We had 3 out of the top 6 teams be the mixed teams in game number 1. 2 out of the top 3 teams in game number 2. So interesting results so far in today's Pro Scrims. It also just goes to show scary mixed teams with massively high individual skill can still make a big impact. Although Iro is staring at the wall of a shed. But, you know, you do what you have to do. Fianato on edge with double in fairly close proximity. I don't know if footsteps have been heard yet. But he keeps having the odd glance in that direction. I feel like Double's seen him. He has. Give Double more than a glance and he will take it. Ainen will pick up the credit for that kill after all, continuing to rack up their points. Three v2 v1. After all, still holding on with the numbers advantage. But in PUBG, anything can happen, and with third parties as well, God knows everything will happen. Strong game so far, though. 11 kills and counting, completely ignoring placement points. After all, they've done themselves very, very proud here. And they're holding this position well as well. More or less dead center of circle. They've got the high ground. Yes, they could go a little bit further north and I suppose take an even higher position. They don't need to at the moment. They know there are no threats over there. If Silas climbs up, though, he can change that. Double and Silas, 6 and 3 kills respectively. And I have to say, Nedex's mixed team doing very, very well here. 10 kills total this game so far. I think everyone's waiting at the moment. Who's going to be forced to move? Next zone, here we go. Very few people are going to be forced to move. So Iro will be very happy with that. And the rest of the squad's going to have to keep fighting. Could Iro come out all guns blazing? Yes, of course he can. But why not come out all guns blazing when you've secured second place? Rather than when you might be getting third. Is it boring? Yes. Is it potentially free points? Also yes. Completely understood why he's doing this right now. Double does have to move out, but not a crazy amount. I mean, what, he can get towards the front of this building and technically still be fine. It's more, he's not 100% sure where to be looking after he gets out. And his position is very much public knowledge to Afteralt right now. And because of that, they get a gatekeep on this high ground. Take a look. If you actually stay here, the only other player who can see you is an Afteralt player. So this feels quite safe for Afteralt just to watch the player that's inside this compound here double. And because this is phase 8, phase 9 will dot into the middle. Double has to move out. Oh, Iro got roasted. And because he got roasted, it's going to be the last. Oh no, running out of bullets one more time. Double is one shot. Tree takes the bulk of that, but it should be over in a second. AWM coming in. That'll do it. What can Silas do? Not a lot as Ainin rains hell from above. That'll be it. 14 kills and the win for After All. Laying waste to everyone in their path and actually being a part of some really good team fights as well in that game. Some third parties that they came out on top of too. After All's in first place, Nedex Mix in second, and He-Man's Mix in third.